In this video, we're still not going to be building any body parts. We are just setting up a bit of a template so we can build our car within the regulations. So I'm going to create another sketch just on top of my block, exactly the same place. And one of the first rules we're going to put in is the thickness of the body around the cylinder chamber. Now it has to be a minimum of 3 mil. So any balsa wood part on your car has to be at least 3 millimeters thick. So all the way around this chamber has to be 3 millimeters where this yellow line is. So let's go ahead and just put a reference line on our drawing, on our car, so we know that we have to build body there. So instead of redrawing this, what I'm going to do is use the project tool. So project, you can use the P key on your keyboard, project, and choose these 3 lines here, okay, and offset. So in the modify tool set, there should be a tool called offset. Again, I'll choose each 3 of them, and I can offset those lines by 3 millimeters. So there's a rough indication. I have to include body around that part. Cool. Next one I'm going to include is where the track is, so where the actual ground surface is. So I'm going to draw a road. It doesn't matter how long it is, it's just a reference line. And have a look in our rule book again. The regulation is from the bottom of the chamber to the road must be minimum of 22 mil for cadet class, 20 mil for development and professional classes. Now, I tend to make it a little bit more. So I go to the dimension from the bottom of the chamber, not from the annular, just from the bottom of the chamber to the road, it's going to be 22. I always go about 22.5, just for a little bit of tolerance. It also allows our wheels to come underneath this chamber as well. So 22.5 is what I set it at. You can have it much higher off the ground if you wanted, but generally try and keep it as low as possible. Keep the vehicle as streamlined as we can, as small as we can in that front profile. So 22.5. We also need to make sure that we've got enough track clearance for the body. Now there's a rule that the car can't be any closer to 2 millimeters from the ground. As it happens, this is dimension tool out, 3 millimeters anyway. Now I wouldn't bring it closer than 3 mil to the ground anyway. When you build your car, if you may add paint or wood putty or any other things to it, it's going to add thickness to your design. So just as a tolerancing measure, I wouldn't go any closer than 3 millimeters. So as it happens, you can't build any closer than that anyway. So that's good. You might want to pop in just another vertical line through here. I might make this one a construction line. Now, there is a maximum length your car can be, which is 210. The minimum is 170, so we'll put another line in. 170 millimeters. So that is the shortest I can have the car. That one. Now we can start popping some wheels in. So the wheels which you have to use are 33 millimeters in diameter. So you just create some wheels in random places. Alright. Now, what we'll do is we'll use this constraint, tangent, click on the wheel, click on the ground, just join them together. So we know that the wheels are always touching the ground. It's kind of helpful. Now we're going to position these wheels. Now, the wheels are joined to the body with some grommets, and those grommets need to have a 6 millimeter hole through them. So we need to ensure that we've got a 6 millimeter grommet on each of these wheels. And that's the reason why I suggest 22.5, is so that this means that the wheel can come underneath this cylinder chamber if you want. So, regulations. The wheel, center of the wheel, from the back of the body, can't be any closer than 35 millimeters. This will allow you to have a space around the wheel and a compliant rear wing on the back of your car. I would recommend that this would be in the region of 50 to 60 millimeters. Something like that for your rear wheel. Your rear wheel to your front wheel, again, somewhere in the region of 100 to 80 millimeters. Now, this is your design, so it's entirely up to you. That's roughly where I'll be placing these things. So about 100 between the two wheels and about 50 to 60 millimeters off the back of the car. One last thing that I'll draw in, roughly, before we finish up, is what's called the virtual cargo. Now, your car has to include a virtual cargo, and in the rule book, rules, just a quick search. There we go. Is this triangular shape which sits inside of the car like this. So it's 8 millimeters thick, 60 millimeters long in that side profile view. So we need to make sure that this triangle sits inside of your car. So let's draw that onto our model so that we can ensure that we're going to fit that in from that side profile too. Now you can always move this around if you need. So just use the tab key to tab across to the other one, 60 by 8. Now, you just need to make sure that back edge of this isn't encroaching on that rear wheel. So we might bring it forwards a little bit from here. And that's about all the setup that we need to do. Please keep in mind that this can be moved around. You just have to allow for that, in your body of your car. The only other thing I might suggest that you include in this sketch is an offset on this front one. Body around this part of the car has to be, again, 3 mm. All body work has to be 3 millimeters. Alright, so I now know that I have to include body around here, and around here, and around here, and around this part of the car here. Now this could move up or down or wherever you need, but I know where there needs to be body, and I know where I'm not allowed to have body now. So while there's a bit going on now, there's a lot of information on the screen, it's sort of a framework for you to be able to build your car. And understanding what these lines are and why they're there is sort of important. So I might call this one body regs. And next step is we can start designing and building the car.